Guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now tonight I don't have team lists in front of me. I've had a little look beforehand, so I will try and remember. Obviously we've only got 2 games this weekend, which makes this probably a shorter video than usual, but during this video I'm just being that NRL final week 2. I know a lot of you enjoyed last week's outdoor tipping video, so maybe I can bring outdoor tipping back for next week. But tonight I'm at home, just like Parramatta are back at home, fresh for a week 2 final. And it feels like deja vu. The first game on Friday night, I will be there. It's going to be a huge game, hopefully a huge crowd as well. The Parramatta Eels finishing in 4th position after our loss against the Penrith Panthers last week. We get a home game here. It feels like the game against the Rabbitohs where we obviously lost to Melbourne Storm in a kind of close-ish game. And then we lost to the Rabbitohs in week 2. We lost to the Panthers last year, but there was no choice of playing at home due to COVID, and now we face the Canberra Raiders. Now the Canberra Raiders have been in some great form, and as you saw in my team of the year, I thought that Joe Tarpanay as well as Hudson Young made my team of the year. They both had outstanding seasons. And out for the Raiders, a big out, Adam Elliott, who's been fantastic, one of the buys of the year in my opinion. He's been really, really solid for the Raiders. He's not the buy of the year, but I would say he's probably up there with the top 5 for sure. Yeah, the Green Machine, they are riding a lot of momentum right now in Parramatta. I really wonder how shot their confidence is. I'll tell you what, I've seen them a lot worse after a game, after a loss in attitude, and the attitude was still there. There was probably less talking to fans, but it was still just, you know, that great attitude, that mindset of this isn't over, we're back next week, rather than heads down, you know, walking away from the situation. Mitchell Moses has been named to play for the Parramatta Eels, which is a huge in my opinion, because Jacob Arthur, he brings something to the side, and he plays well at dummy half as that kind of backup player. But in my opinion, in a finals game, if he has to play in that number 7 jersey, that is so much pressure on him. It's different to that game against the Manly Seagulls just a few weeks ago, where he obviously won them the game. Mitch was out. And then we had a shocker. I think it was against the Broncos the following week. I can't actually remember who it was off the top of my head. But yeah, Jacob Arthur has been named in jersey number 15. And I know a lot of people are not going to like this. In my opinion, I think it is a pretty bad decision. I hate to say it because I'm a big Eels supporter and I don't like bringing people down. That's just not who I am. And I think with Jake, the thing is, it's not that hasn't got the skill or talent. He's still quite young. I think it's more about the bench and the size. Now, we've got Makatoa on the bench once again. He was okay last week. He played very limited minutes. Jake Arthur in 15. And Oregon and Marata Niokore have been in some great form. But in my opinion, I think Makatoa should be out of that side for someone like your Bryce Cartwright or even your Nathan Brown. I kind of want to see Nathan Brown in this side, and I believe he is 18th man for this game. Look, if this is Parramatta's last game of the season, it could be the last time we see Papali'i, Reid Marnie, before I forget, because I want to speak about it. Reid Marnie has been pretty good for the most part this year. There's definitely been some games where I've been like, Reid, that was not the greatest game. He's backed it up the following week. However, his game against Penrith was poor the other night. Reid Marnie's play the balls out of dummy half were really, really poor. And I really want to see some quicker play the ball. I want to see Marata Niokore and Madison get those quick play the ball. Cameron Murray, Victor Radley style play the ball, so that we can get on top of the Raiders and gain some momentum back in this game with speed and pace, because I already know this is going to be a very tough game. And you've got players like Jordan Rapana, who loves playing against us. Jack Whiten has been inconsistent this year, but still in some great form nonetheless. And they're coming off a win in Canberra. They have a great record in Canberra, but they've beaten the Storm. They've knocked them out of the finals, as I tipped last week. And look, it's really interesting that Parramatta went with the same lineup this week, because I think Brad Arthur's job is on the line. Now, it's weird to say this, but I feel like I feel like the club, in regards to the right decision, probably has to get rid of Jake and Brad if we do lose this game. Now, Jake's only been there for only about a year and a half now, and Jake's been a good backup player, don't get me wrong, and I hate putting a player down, but I think the fact that it's not Jake's fault. There was a kick out on the full last week. There was a kick that went dead against Manly in the dropout. Even though we won that game, I still nitpick on that moment. But I think Brad's had so many chances. If Brad can't get through a week 2 game after all these years, it's time to go. And like I said, I don't like being the person to point it out, but this could be the last time we see Brad Arthur. Now, at the moment, I am that confident that Parramatta win this game that I have a trip booked to Townsville. Obviously, if we don't win the game, I will still decide whether I be at Townsville, but the fact that the Raiders beat us and they play for a grand final spot, I don't think I'll go. So in saying that, with Parramatta confidence and being back at home, a nice crowd, the Raiders struggling to make the 8, finishing in 8th position, still riding a lot of momentum, but the Eels, for me, bouncing back from every loss, and bouncing back in style too. We have won 13 games following a loss. And for me, I think we'll win this game, and I think we'll win it well. I think our defense against Melbourne was really there. I think our defense against Penrith was really there. We had a few things go against us. We had injury as well. I thought we played really, really well. For about 55 to 60 minutes there, I even could say that we were the better team. But in the end, Nathan Cleary's kicking game and not applying that pressure, and then them using their outside backs in Dylan Edwards and Brian To'o, made Penrith get better than us. Now, obviously, they kicked to Wonga Blake, and Wonga Blake made a lot of errors that night. So I'm backing a big game from Wonga Blake. I really want to see him be proud in that blue and gold jersey, so that people just aren't picking on him again all week, just like we saw with Jackson Paulo a few weeks ago having a poor game, and then we saw these decisions. So yes, I've made some comments throughout my tipping video, but as you know, guys, I'm not that type of person to just take it out on players. So I'm actually backing these players to have a big game. I want to see them get the best out of it. And if it ends our season, it ends our season. But I'm going to tip Parramatta to win this game, 28 points to 10. I reckon Parramatta will win this game and win it well. I mentioned our defense against the Storm. We kept the Broncos at home to 6 points. I know they've been struggling. Raiders are riding a lot of momentum, but for me, there's still those moments where they really clock out, and they gave the Storm a lot of possession. Now, the thing about Parramatta is their defense is going to need to stop those forwards from getting downfield. I remember Dylan Brown had a great game in Canberra. We ended up winning that game, I think, 28 points to 20, which is the same score they beat Melbourne by last week. But for this game, having Brown and Moses in the halves in a Week 2 finals game, proving everyone wrong and heading to Townsville for a prelim against the Cowboys, I truly believe this team can do it. The thing about this, I don't want to say and sit here that I think the Eels are going to make the grand final, but I think there's a bit of confidence and belief in the playing group. I've watched some of these interviews. I've watched them avoid some of the questions relating to grand final, relating to how other teams play. I remember them mentioning Hudson Young being in some great form, but they're in a very different mindset to what they've been. And I feel like the Eels for years have been kind of cocky. So I'm really happy to see this mindset. And I think for the most part, we can get behind this team as they get the job done at home. So I'm tipping the Eels to win by 18 points. I think that this game won't be as close as people think. And the bookies have it right. They've got this game at 5.5 as the line. And I don't think the Raiders will be able to cover the line at Parramatta. Look, I think Jordan Rapana is a safe bet. I reckon Jordan Rapana is going to score a try at any time in this game. They've got a great forward pack, but we can match it. Junior Paulo is going to be up for a huge game. I'm going to take Micah Sivo to score a try at any time. Jordan Rapana with the Eels to win. I believe that's about $6. Let me know if I'm wrong with the odds. Obviously, I don't have it in front of me. I also am going to take Tom Opacek to score the first try. I reckon short ball from Lane, pass to Opacek, a little bit of an offload, and a dive in for Opacek to score the first try for the Eels. But I hope our season doesn't come to an end here. I love this club with all my heart. I'm sick of these Week 2 exits. We've got the squad to go further than we have in many years. We've got the squad to get there, just like 2009. Parramatta to win this game against Canberra. Next game sees the Cronulla Sharks at Allianz, the home team, up against the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Now, the Sharks haven't played at the new Allianz Stadium, only the Roosters and the Rabbitohs have. So the Rabbitohs have had 2 opportunities at this ground. And look, they're playing some really good footy off the weekend. I do admit, and I said it throughout my vlog, they played very grubby football. They had some high tackles. I am very surprised that Tane Milne has been allowed to play this week. I thought Jackson Paulo might come in for them on the wing. Tom Burgess has been suspended, and I think their bench from memory is Harmasele, Peter Mamozelos, Jaden Nikarima, or Cody Nikarima, sorry. It's very hard with it not in front of me. As for the Sharks, they played a very tough game against the Cowboys. They got over the top of the Cowboys a few times. It was a try-for-try kind of game, but in the end, it was Val Home breaking fans at Shark Park, 32-30. The Cowboys, I tipped them by 1, so I'm spewing, and they qualify for a qualifying final. So the Sharks, they find themselves with another chance here. The Rabbitohs, they're riding the momentum. Their attack's been really good. Latrell has been really, really good this season, and obviously he's going to be up for a big game. It is at Allianz. The Sharks are favourites. The Sharks have had a better season overall as well. They finished in 2nd position compared to the Rabbitohs, finishing 7th. So the Rabbitohs, if they win this game, they will play the Panthers in a prelim, which was last year's grand final. In 2020, we got the Melbourne Storm versus Panthers grand final. In 2021, we got Panthers versus Storm as a prelim. And I reckon it's going to happen again. I reckon the Rabbitohs and Panthers is going to be a prelim. So I'm going to tip South Sydney here. I would love to see the Cronulla Sharks defeat South Sydney. And I think they're more than capable of. I think the experience of Moylan in finals games with the youth of Hines. And then you've got the inexperience of Ilias in a finals game. But I think for South Sydney, they just have too much attack, and they have try-scoring weapons like Alex Johnston, Latrell Mitchell, play the ball speed of Cameron Murray, and Cook brought a lot to that side. They're pretty much full strength besides Tom Burgess for this game. So for me, I actually think South Sydney will beat Cronulla. I reckon they'll advance to play Penrith at ANZ probably, which puts a home game for the Rabbitohs, puts them a great opportunity to go back-to-back grand final appearances. But I won't be speaking about my prelim tip until next week. But as for this game at Allianz, I think the Sharks season comes to an end. I did say that whoever loses Sharks and Cowboys for mine could go out in straight sets. But for me, I'm pretty surprised to be saying this. I feel like if it was the Roosters, I think the Sharks could have beaten the Roosters. But I am going to go with the Rabbitohs to win that game, 24 points to 16. So I'm going to tip Souths by 8. I think it will be a tight game for the most part, but I think Souths just have more points in them for mine. Cronulla scored plenty of points on the weekend. They both scored 30 points, interesting enough, both of these teams. But only one of these teams can advance. I can see the Rabbitohs just getting over the top of the Sharks, especially knowing the stadium, knowing how to play. The surface is theirs. They've got plenty of advantages, and they'll probably get a huge crowd here as well. Obviously, the Shark fan, I wonder whether they'll travel that far, whereas Rabbitohs fans will get down there for the game. So, look, I'm going to go Lachlan Ilias to score a try at any time in this match. Not sure what that one's paying, but I've just got a feeling he's going to be full of energy, and Lachlan Ilias is going to score at any time. As for a first try scorer, I'm going to go with Keon Kolomatangi. I backed him to score a try the other day. I don't think he did. I also backed Jai Arrow mid-vlog. He was $9, big value there. But I am thinking that the Sharks are going to be defeated here, 24 points to 16. So the Sharks season will come to an end, as well as the Canberra Raiders. And I reckon that the Rabbitohs will advance to a game against Penrith. Well, that's it, guys. Make sure you let me know your tips in the comments below. Obviously, I really hope that Parramatta can get the job done. I will be there at Townsville for a Cowboys versus Eels grand final. Hopefully Parramatta versus Penrith. I know a lot of people are picking it, but under pressure, we struggle. And that's why I'm a little bit worried about this game. But again, I'm tipping us 13 plus because I really think we can do it. I think we can get over the top, especially being at home. We beat them by 8 in Canberra, a team that we really struggle against in our record. It's been a big season. Really hoping the boys can get the job done. But if we don't, we finished in the top 4. We go out in straight sets. Pretty predictable for Parramatta. It's going to be quite upsetting. But make sure you like this video. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know who you're tipping below. And I'll see you guys later.